Glucose is not a carb meter, it's a systems biomarker. If your labs are normal, but you feel wired, foggy, gaining weight despite discipline, tired after eating, then this video is for you. Because normal labs do not mean normal physiology. My name is Dr. Kathleen O'Neill, also known as Dr. K. What I care most about is listening to you, your symptoms, listening to the signals, not ignoring the signals, and intervening at the earliest place possible. That's called systems biology, regenerative medicine. And we're here to detect any signal that's awry, any signal that's saying that something's off, which usually is told by the symptoms that you're feeling, telling me that your body's compensating and that this is an opportunity where we need to listen carefully, gain the data to understand what is happening, and then intervene and not ignore those signals. Because the sooner we intervene, the better we can reverse the trajectory. If your glucose is normal, is your metabolism healthy? Many people are told that their glucose is normal, their A1C is fine, but that is the window of opportunity possibly for someone to intervene. Your glucose can be normal and you're already compensating. What does that mean? Before glucose becomes abnormal, a biomarker called adiponectin becomes abnormal. Then insulin becomes abnormal. Then years later, glucose becomes abnormal. And at last, the hemoglobin A1C is abnormal. So there is a large window of opportunity for us to intervene to prevent disease while the body is compensating. Metabolic dysfunction doesn't begin with diabetes. It happens quietly, invisibly, and silently before the doctor diagnoses it. Today, I want to show you what that actually means. We've been trained to look at glucose as the primary indicator, but it's actually the lagging indicator, and that's an important fact because the body will compensate with other biomarkers like adiponectin, like insulin, like proinsulin, and all of those will become abnormal long before the glucose is abnormal and you are diagnosed with diabetes. And this is the window for intervention. This is when we can reverse the trajectory, when we can intervene and we can make a difference in your health. Symptoms are compensation within the body. They're not disease. And it's ideal to treat the symptoms, to listen to those whispers so that you can reverse the trajectory of getting a disease. The kind of symptoms that show up when most people are told they're normal are they're tired, they eat and then they want to go to sleep. They have an afternoon crash. They're wired. Their brain is foggy. They're gaining weight despite discipline, being at a gym and eating well. And they feel like what's happening at 40 isn't what happened at 28. They can't lose weight as easily. Many people are using CMGs today. And the challenge with that is it's a late detector for disease. So what you miss by just looking at your glucose is you miss what the insulin level is. For example, a normal insulin level could be between 5, maybe 20. Let's call 20 the upper limit of normal. But if you have a glucose that's normal and you have an insulin level that's 10 times higher, 50, or even higher, 500, but your sugar is relatively normal, then you've already crossed the threshold and you are closer and closer to the diagnosis of diabetes. What we like to do here at Treat Wellness is we like to detect the compensatory phase, the compensation that's happened in the body earlier so that we can reverse the trajectory of you ever being diagnosed with diabetes. When the glucose is still normal, but adiponectin has changed, the insulin levels have changed, and we want to intervene then with lifestyle and possibly medications and treatment therapies. The CGM is great for showing physiology in action, not just a snapshot, but it doesn't show you the depth of the snapshot. The important thing to understand is that you need more numbers to fully understand that glucose level. If glucose isn't the first signal, there are things that are changing before it. Glucose, as I said, is the lagging indicator. So what changes before glucose is adiponectin, insulin, proinsulin, and then the glucose may begin to change slowly and gradually. And it won't be really high until you're already crossed the threshold into the disease world, being given a diagnosis. I would like to prevent that because that happened to me. So I was told that my sugar was normal and that I had no problem. But one day, my sugar crossed the threshold, and then I was told that I had diabetes and it was irreversible. I would like to help people reverse this problem in the window of opportunity before it becomes a diagnosis. That's what I care about. I am a doctor. I worked with doctors, and nobody recognized with me when I wasn't feeling well and I was expressing that I was tired and thirsty and eating and not being able to maintain my weight. Nobody recognized for me that I had diabetes. And it was really important to me now that I help others prevent the onset of this or delay the progression to the diagnosis of diabetes, because it's not a fun thing to live with every day. So if we can intervene earlier, and I'm talking years earlier, just by measuring these other biomarkers that change before the glucose changes, then we've made a win. And that's what I like to do, help you get a win. From 35 to 60, the systems internally are changing. Your muscle mass will decline if you don't protect it. Your stress is enhanced, and your testosterone and estrogen are shifting, and this shifts insulin signaling. It's important to recognize there are multiple other things that are happening within the systems between 35 and 60. Before glucose becomes abnormal, you should know and you should follow and track your cortisol level, your estrogen, progesterone levels, your testosterone levels. Whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. We all have estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. And you should measure your insulin. Every glucose measurement should be accompanied with an insulin measurement, because the glucose value doesn't tell you much, but when you combine that value with an insulin value or a glycated serum protein or a glycated protein, that is what's going to help you diagnose and intervene sooner so that you don't end up with a diagnosis of diabetes or metabolic dysfunction. If you recognize that you're in this stage where glucose is trending up or your insulin is high in order to keep your glucose normal, or your adiponectin is low, it doesn't mean that the system is working well. It means that your body is working overtime. What's important is that you get the right care. Lifestyle measures will be critical. You can try those on your own. You can try to adapt your diet or your exercise or your sleep. You can try to reduce your stress, but the reality is it's likely that you're going to need clinical advice. It may be that you need a health coach. It may be that you need a nurse practitioner. It may be that you need a physician. I suggest that you get the right clinical care that you need in order to help prevent a diagnosis of diabetes. If this is you and you desire to intervene at the earliest place to prevent disease and to treat for wellness, then we're here for you. Please click the link in this video and you will get more information on how you can work with us. I'm here to help you remember what wellness feels like. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more information.